All right, are you thinking about an active adult community here in Sacramento? In this video, I'm going to cover some of the new up-and-coming active adult 55 and up communities with really resort-style living. And of course, we're going to bring on a few extras in the resale market so you guys can get an idea and make an informed decision on buying in an active adult community here in the Sacramento region. Hey everybody, welcome to Sacramento's Real Estate Channel, where we talk everything there is to know about the brand new builds and of course, what there is to do here in Sacramento. If you've been thinking about making a move to the area, subscribe to the channel. And just so you know, we go live every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. We'll see you there. All right, welcome back. Super excited about this one. And the reason I'm bringing this topic up is every week we go live, on Tuesdays at 5:30. And a lot of times we'll get comments about certain areas, new communities, different things when it comes to, in regards to real estate here in Sacramento. So one topic I keep getting asked about lately is the active adult communities, specifically the new construction active adult communities. Now, if you're not familiar, active adult communities really have typically some rules and regulations, if you will, and you got to be basically 55 years of age or older to purchase. Now, there are some different criteria depending on the community of different age folks being able to live with you. But today, we're going to review some of these communities because some of these, I can assure you, it's really a luxurious resort style living. In fact, just earlier today, I was talking with someone about these communities. So I figured I'd bring it up since we get asked about them quite frequently, especially with clients that are looking to either downsize, looking to retire or looking to live in an area where kind of your amenities in a way are taken care of and that there's a lot of things to do in the neighborhood and really have a community around you in a neighborhood like this. So I'll bring those up. And if you guys are joining me from somewhere out of town, if you're watching this, I would love to hear where you're coming from in the comments or in the chat down below. You can also, if you have a question as we're going along or generally about the real estate here in Sacramento, drop it in the comments. I'd love to bring it up as we go along. Now let's get into it. I see some people already hopping on, so excited for this one. And I do have Christopher hopping on as well. I'm moving when I'm 55. I love that. What are your thoughts on the Lincoln Del Webb? My in-laws live in a Del Webb. Okay, that's super cool. I'm glad you brought that up. This is actually a community that I'll bring up a little bit later. But while you brought this comment up, I might as well address it. So Lincoln Del Webb, Sun City, beautiful location in Lincoln. You can get there off the 12 Bridges exit. In fact, it's such a big community, you can get there various ways. But that one's got a lot of amenities. The pool is a must, and they got a lot of activities going on there. Now that area is more of a resale market. It's all resale market. Most of those homes were built in the early 2000s. So they come up on the market all the time. Prices can vary. I've seen stuff, entry level, 500,000 more or less. But if you want a bigger home, updated, maybe with the view or backs up to a golf course, the prices can definitely jump up on that one into the 7s, 8s, maybe even more. So very nice area. That's more of an established community. There is a new construction community on the backside of it that I'm actually going to get into here in a few minutes. So I'm glad you asked that. But Lincoln is a great area specifically for active adult community like this. So I think that one is a winner. We've had quite a few clients entertain that one. So I think that one is a good community. So thanks for hopping on, and I'll probably bring that one up again as we go on towards the end. So glad you guys are hopping on. If you're enjoying it so far, give it a thumbs up, or again, comment down below if you have any questions. So let's hop into the new construction active adult communities. Now, specifically, I'm going to pick my top picks, right? I'm going to pick the stuff that I like. Of course, I can't technically buy it yet, but I would love to buy it here because when you walk these properties, they're seriously one of a kind. And I'm not just saying that. When you go here, these communities feel like you're already living the good life. Resort style living. You got pools, spas, fitness centers, a lot of times even classes that you can hop in on, with like water classes, water sports, stuff like that, different exercise programs, whatnot. And again, some of these communities are right next to a golf course. So the first one, my first pick that I really love is going to be Esplanade at Turkey Creek. Now, this is a new community by Taylor Morrison. And if you're watching this or you haven't heard of this, this is just going to kind of show you a again, from their website directly, but at least gives you an idea of what the resort or, the resort amenities look like. So you have a huge pool out there. I mean, when I walk this property, it feels like you're somewhere at a resort in Cancun or whatnot. You don't see it in this photo, but there's actually a huge indoor pool as well if you want to do laps or things like that. So very nice. Esplanade at Turkey Creek, again, by Taylor Morrison Homes, which is a pretty notable builder in the area. In fact, a lot of people love Taylor. They got pretty good reputation in the new build space. So that amongst also having just wonderful upgrade opportunities. So some of these homes, I mean, you can make them feel like a next level luxury home. Or you could get in more towards the base price, not go too crazy with the upgrades and get a more entry-level price if you just want a new construction home in an area that offers amenities like this. So just to kind of break it down real quick, it's in Lincoln. It's more on the backside of Lincoln, I would say. It's not too far from actually the Del Webb community we just talked about in Lincoln. So it's a great new up-and-coming community. It's next to Highway 193, which is kind of a pass-through highway between Highway 65 and then getting over to the 80. So it's basically like a back route. There's a lot of new construction going on between there right now. But this is kind of one of the primary builders that's already been up and coming, got their gears going over here. With that being said, you're right next to Turkey Creek Golf Course. So the community is not necessarily on the golf course or surrounding the golf course, but it's right next door. Which is still really good because even though this community is going to be gated, and it's a very sizable community, it's going to be gated, there's meant to be a private access straight to Turkey Creek Golf Course. So if you're going to be buying a home and you plan on having a golf cart, plan on golfing a lot at Turkey Creek, I heard it's a pretty good course. I've been there, haven't played it personally yet, but I've heard good things about it, and it's really nice and it looks beautiful there. So it's right next door. So if you're a big fan of golfing, this might be a good location for you. Not to mention, the Del Webb community also has a pretty nice golf course. Lincoln is noted for golf courses, and also Rockland next door and Roseville also have plenty of golf courses. So if that's something you're into, we don't really have a shortage on that. What else can I say about this community? Before I go too far, by the way, we have videos on this community. So if you type in Esplanade, I know it's kind of spelled interestingly, but you can review some of the model tours on that one if you want to see what the model homes look like. There's a ton of models here. If I remember correctly, there's either 10 or 12 homes modeled. So you're definitely going to spend a majority of your day just to look at the home so you can save yourself some time and watch it on YouTube. I want to talk about the lodge. So the lodge is really the main thing here. I showed you in the picture before. The lodge is really this whole building right here. To me, it has like a modern Lake Tahoe vibe to it. This lodge is beautiful. Just to give you some amenities here, as I mentioned, it's got the pools, indoor, outdoor. It's got a private restaurant, bar, and coffee shop. It's also got a game room, a gym, spa amenities, pickleball, tennis courts, a pet park, which it also has a washing station. So if you got a dog, if you're looking to walk your dog or your pet, there's also, I've seen it personally, there's a big washing station, and I believe they even provide towels there for your dog. So your dogs are going to have their own spa day as well in this community. It's really grand. It's really beautiful. It's really well taken care of. We've had quite a few clients express interest in this community, toured it a bunch of times. So it's been a really good up and running community when it comes to new construction, specifically active adult. Now, there's 4 different collections of homes here. So as I mentioned, there's a ton of models to choose from. So if you want to go more smaller entry-level home, like you just maybe don't need the space, you just want like a 2-bedroom, you can do that. Square footages here start anywhere from about 1,408 square feet up to almost 3,000 square feet. So huge range of homes. Single story, of course. Backyards, decent size, not terribly big, but they do have some various lots here. So keep in mind with Taylor Morrison, base pricing can be anywhere from mid 500s, even into the 800 and plus mark. They have some quick moving homes right now. I was looking at a price list right before the live stream, and there were some homes pushing the $900,000 mark with upgrades on the bigger ones. So keep that in mind. So prices, you can show that it's $550, but really you can, if you want the biggest one with all the upgrades, all the bells and whistles, you can be spending $800,000, $900,000 here. Okay, so it is a beautiful area in Lincoln. It's very nice, and I'm sure that you will enjoy it as well if you ever come and visit. And also, if you ever plan to, you can always reach out to our team down below. We'd love to assist you with your search for a new construction home in the area. So I hope you're enjoying this so far. If you guys have specific questions, let me know down below. Just reviewing the comments real quick. I see Elena hopping on. Love that community. Yes, we've toured that one a few times together, so really good. Now, again, also, you can check out the model tours on the channel if you're interested in seeing some of these. I believe on a few of them, I showed the resort amenities as well, so hope you guys like that. Now, really quickly, to break down some of the costs other than just price point, HOA is $349 a month. So HOA, in my opinion, is a little steep. You are getting a lot of amenities, though, so about $350 a month. And that'll take care of your front yard landscaping, streets, gates, of course, and of course, the resort lodge. You also will need to do about a $300 spending per quarter. Now, don't quote me on that. That's just something I heard recently. But the reason for that is they want people to spend money at the restaurant bar, probably to keep those alive, which makes sense. In fact, someone mentioned to me earlier that they lived in a community where they didn't have that required, and the restaurant kind of fell downhill without that. So it does make sense. They want the private restaurant, the dining to kind of keep in motion. So they want their members to also be active on eating and drinking there and hanging out. So that's pretty cool. Now, aside from that, Melrose here. Now, I know Melrose, the taxes are very interesting to people because with new construction homes, those are pretty common around here in the Sacramento region. So Melrose here, they're guesstimating about $2,975 a year with the base tax rate of about 1.063%. So just to kind of give you an idea, a little bit up there on the Melrose and the HOA, but I don't think it's necessarily not doable, especially in this price point and in this beautiful area of Lincoln. Now, I do want to bring up another one really quickly. I see this comment, so I might as well answer it. Are all active adult communities one story? I would say with the communities that we have here in the area that I've personally seen and reviewed, yes, most of them are basically one-story communities. So I think that's a huge benefit. I personally prefer one-story homes over two-story. And then the other thing is when you don't have two-story homes around you, there's no lack of, it's just more private with one-stories around. You don't have people on the second floor if you're in a one-story looking over your backyard and whatnot. So I think it's nice to have single stories, but yes, I've mainly seen single stories around here. So number 2 community that I think is a hot pick for active adult. Now, this one is a luxury brand that a lot of people talk about. In fact, I had people try to buy this community without being 55 and up, and I know why they want to buy here, and it totally makes sense because once you walk this community, this is luxury living, and it's just absolutely beautiful. It's by Toll Brothers. We have the Regency, which is one of Toll Brothers' new communities here in the Sacramento region, specifically in Folsom Ranch. Now, if you don't know much about Folsom Ranch, maybe it's your first time running across it. Folsom Ranch is essentially all the new development going on outside of Folsom, California. Its first phase was about 11,000 homes expected to build. So it's a huge community. Now, Regency specifically, this is an active adult community by Toll Brothers. Luxury living at its finest. I mean, this community is really what everyone's been waiting for, but only if you can buy it, right? I mean, location-wise, Folsom Ranch has been one of the hot spots. We have Dignity Health coming in right off East Bidwell exit, and you have quick access to Highway 50, literally 5-minute drive, if that. You have the Palladio, all the shopping centers in Folsom. You have the Folsom Outlets, it's a little bit more of a drive. You have Costco. You have restaurants. I mean, right there, East Bidwell, the exit for this community is just filled with everything you would need in Folsom, essentially. So, of course, it's got on a lot of attraction and people looking to downsize. We've had a lot of clients want to move from the Bay Area, even from other states, such as Washington has been popular, like outside the Seattle area. They want to come into a warmer climate. They want to be in an active adult community, and they want to buy a home that's still luxury, park their money in an area that they still feel is a good investment. Like the area is still going to, appreciate in value over years. So this one has been a good one. We've had a lot of interest in this one, specifically Regency at Folsom Ranch by Toll Brothers. And of course, Toll Brothers is it's got a brand name already. Anyone that is familiar with new construction homes, has looked at new construction homes or bought new construction homes, has typically had a higher regard towards Toll Brother. It's kind of interesting to see that, but they do offer a pretty good product. Now, I can't say it's perfect or the best out there, but for, essentially track home developments, I would say they do a pretty good job. Now, with pricing here, you have 5 different collections of homes. So just like the previous community, a plethora of model homes to choose from. In fact, if you check out our channel, we have some of those model tours available as well. You can get a home anywhere from 1,398 square feet all the way up to over 2,441 square feet. So you got that range 1,400 to almost 2,500 square feet. So you could get something more entry level, again, like in the 500, 600 mark, or you can definitely work into the $1 million mark, especially after upgrades and everything. Now, one thing with Toll Brothers, especially on the bigger homes, you can go really above and beyond with upgrades. It's not crazy to see someone spend $100, $200 or more $1,000 in upgrades, especially with the Toll Brothers home, because in those models, they show you the best of the best, all the bells and whistles. I mean, just beautiful waterfall countertops. They got marble, they got granite, they have 3-inch countertops, just beautiful. So they'll show you the bells and whistles. And of course, we want that in our homes. So the price point can definitely go up here. On a side note, if you guys are interested in new construction, maybe active adult is not working for you or whatnot, maybe you can't buy one just yet. But Toll Brothers is actually coming out with another new community here in Folsom Ranch, right down the street. So if you're considering Toll Brothers, you can reach out to us as well for more information on that one. That one's progressing, I believe, for later this year to really start getting into motion and selling. So let us know if we could be of assistance on that. What can I tell you? I mean, the resort at Regency is really the main living here. I'm going to pull it up as we're talking. Let me see if I can get it. But this community, I mean, it's really got luxury living. So as you can see here in this community, it's going to be gated. I mean, when you drive in, it's got a beautiful entrance right off the front. You got nice, mature olive trees. You have a security at the front gate. You're entering through the gate, and it's just a nice little long drive before you get to the resort at Regency, which in fact, it just opened up. Now, I know a lot of residents were waiting for this one. We had clients too that wanted to buy here at this community, but they wanted to see what the resort looked like. So now it's finally opening. Now, some of the cool things about this one, again, it's 18,000 square feet. It's a clubhouse. It's got indoor and outdoor pools, a spa, fire pits, on-site market, prep kitchen, got conference rooms, state-of-the-art fitness center, and it's even got a dedicated lifestyle director. So it has a dedicated lifestyle director to do all sorts of fitness activities and whatnot. So I think that sounds pretty fancy. Now, on top of that, you have pickleball, bocce ball. I think I'm saying that right. I've never played it. Gathering areas and 2 dog parks. Not 1, but 2 is what they're saying that they're going to have there. I'm actually expected to visit this resort again now that all the amenities are opening up. So I'll try to do a video on that, or at least a review. So some of you guys that are watching from out of town or want to get the inside scoop, we'll show you guys what that looks like. But I think that this community, it just offers that luxury presence here in Folsom Ranch. I mean, and even though the values on some of these homes, you might say like pushing $1 million for a 2,400 square foot home, I think the values are there, especially in Folsom Ranch. When you get in an area like this, it's truly one of a kind. And even if you walk the sales office, you feel the difference that they provide. It definitely has that luxury touch to living here in Folsom Ranch. So if you're active adult, if you're looking for something like this, I think this is a strong contender. In fact, I would say that these are the 2 communities that I get asked about probably the most of someone considering active adult. Is going to be Regency at Folsom Ranch and Esplanade at Turkey Creek in Lincoln, California. So 2 main contenders, really 2 that I wanted to dive deeper into today. Now I will bring up a few more in the video, so stay tuned for that. But I think these are going to be your 2 contenders if you're looking for active adult, especially new construction. Now with that, both do have dirt lots or empty lots that you can, wait for a specific lot, wait for the build time. On like Regency, they're estimating 7 to 9 months build time. roughly, but you can also get quick move-in options. In fact, we just emailed someone today a ton of new quick move-in options. So a lot of these homes, they might be already ready, or they might be ready in just a few months. So you might be able to take over that contract. And depending what stage that home is in, you might still be able to choose your own upgrades, or at least some of the upgrades in the home, just depending what phase it's at. So that's a good way to get in quicker on a home, especially if you're using a loan. Might be able to lock your interest rate quicker, and may not have to do that whole wait time, which can help a lot of people out. Now, when it comes to the fees and the costs of a community like this, I already talked about some of the pricing, but HOA here. Now, HOA is cheaper than Esplanade. You have approximately $265 a month HOA. Again, that's a fully gated community with 2 gatehouse entrances, 1 gate featuring on-site staff, as I mentioned. You can enter and exit using a key fob, the Regency app, or a keypad, so they're going to have their own app. Pedestrian paths that lead to trails outside of Regency will also be gated, which is pretty cool. Dues will pay for the maintenance of the gates, staff at the front gate, private streets within the gate, common area landscaping, the clubhouse, of course, and some amenities. HOA dues do not pay for garbage fees, water, sewer, internet services, and front yard maintenance. Okay, so just keep that in mind. At least you know what's included. Now, Melrose running here. I don't want to quote you directly on this one because they also haven't released it. It really depends on the home. And that can vary, but I would say on average, it's about $250 more or less a month is what it breaks down to. Their base tax rate here is about 1.32% plus those Melrose. So keep that in mind. Slightly higher taxes here, especially in Folsom Ranch. As I mentioned, expect build time to be 7 to 9 months. Could be quicker on a quick move-in option. Also, keep in mind with these new construction homes, another cost to consider is going to be solar. So solar is usually an option to lease or to purchase. If you decide to purchase it, it'll get added on to your overall purchase price, which can definitely bring up, the price of the home if you have a very strict budget. So keep that in mind to account for that. And then, of course, landscaping. Most new communities expect you to do landscaping after in the first couple months of being in the community, especially when they have an HOA. So keep that in mind. Now, I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. If this content has been valuable to you, or you know of somebody who can benefit from this sort of content, feel free to share it or give it a thumbs up, like it, maybe even consider subscribing to the channel if you're considering buying or selling real estate here in Sacramento, or maybe even moving to the area and just kind of want to know what's going on here in the area. Now, some more new active adult communities that are coming. I wanted to bring these up before we kind of finish the video. Again, I mentioned the 2 kind of top picks that I would choose, that I would personally live in if they allowed me to. Still trying to figure out a way around that. But Shea Homes is expecting a new community in the Lincoln area. So if you like Lincoln, maybe Taylor Morrison is not cutting it, but Shea Homes is expecting to build a new community in the Lincoln area as well. It's going to be 55 and up, active adult. Another community, if you liked Esplanade at Turkey Creek, but you don't like Lincoln, another new community that's going to be coming up in the near future is going to be Esplanade at Madera Ranch. Now, that is going to be in Elk Grove, California, which is on the southern side of the Sacramento region. So if you like Elk Grove more, that one is still up and coming. Both these communities, as I know, have not been released yet, but they are up and coming. So if those are areas that you want to consider or look into, let us know. You can always reach out to us. Our info is in the description, and we'd be happy to update you once we have more information, once the models homes are built, whatever it is, whatever stage it is that works for you, we'd be happy to update you on that. Now, some other areas to consider in the resale market. So if you're thinking 55 and up, maybe you don't like new construction. Maybe you don't like the idea of the higher tax rates. You might want to consider Sun City. Del Webb, specifically in Lincoln, as I mentioned before on the channel, as our good friend commented, that's a great community. If you're looking for a resale home, I don't want to say used home because that makes it sound so bad, but the reality is resale market is the main market when it comes to buying and selling real estate. And sometimes, without having the wait time, being able to close on a home, if you're paying cash, less than 15 days, if you're using a loan, you could do it 30 days or less. Quickness sometimes makes sense for people, right? And we can work with the terms with the specific seller. The other thing to keep in mind when it comes to new construction homes, some builder may not entertain contingent sales. So if you are someone who's looking to sell your home, use those funds to purchase the new build, they may not entertain that because a lot of builders don't really want contingent sales. Now, some I've seen work with people on a one-on-one basis, but for instance, as I don't want to be too direct on which builders and whatnot in the video, but once we have a consultation call, I'll explain this in more detail. Certain builders will accept certain contingent sales, right? But they want certain parameters to be set of when you'll list the home, how quickly you'll sell, etc. beforehand. So they want to know that you're going to be a qualified buyer and that you're going to be ready to move forward when the home is ready to be completed on built and to be sold. So keep that in mind. Not every builder is open to contingent sales, even in the active adult space. So if that's important to you on the contingent sale, make sure to verify that before kind of investing too much into it. Now, the other thing you might want to know is Sun City also has a resale home development in Roseville, West Roseville. So if you like Roseville more, which some people do, Lincoln or Roseville, I would say they're not terribly far apart, especially if you're moving from outside the area. You don't know the area too well, too dialed in. You probably wouldn't really know the difference, but there are some differences. And if you prefer Roseville for other reasons, they have an exquisite community there as well. Both communities do have golf courses and clubhouses and amenities, just as we've noted with the other communities. So they have their own beautiful features as well. More established homes are pushing more 20 years old. You might even be able to get an outdated home there if you wanted to remodel it yourself or get a better price for something like that. So that's what I would recommend in some of those situations. Now, another community I would consider if you want to be in a different area is going to be El Dorado Hills. So if you like El Dorado Hills, there's a few active adult communities. One of the main ones right now is called Heritage in El Dorado Hills. That's a community by Lennar. They're building a lot out there. Now, I believe they were still selling a few more new construction homes, but there's already resale homes in that area. So if you like El Dorado Hills, there's definitely a few communities that offer that. And there's a variety of others, but these are kind of my picks that I would consider in the areas based on location, price, and amenities. Those are kind of three filters, if you will, or parameters, I should say, that why I chose these communities, especially if you're considering active adult, newer or new construction here in the Sacramento region. So I hope you guys are enjoyed this so far. I hope this has been beneficial to you. I see a few comments before I kind of move on. I want to answer these. Priscilla asked, are you allowed to have your grandkids over in these communities? If so, how long can they visit for? Absolutely. Most of them that I've experienced now, the HOA rules can differ definitely, and how long matters. But I've known that for grandkids, they can definitely visit. You can definitely have guests, but depending on the community, the length of time, for instance, I believe that one of the first two communities, if not both, you have to be, if you have a visitor or a guest who's under the 55 mark, they can only stay with you for 30 or 60 days, something like that. I have to double check. We have a frequently asked questions in there. I know it mentioned that, but I believe it might be 60 days they can visit you depending on age. I think they have to be 18 or over to visit up to 60 days. If they're under 18, they can just visit, but I don't believe they can stay for over a certain amount of time. So you have to keep that in mind also with guests as well. And also you may need to double check on how you can have guests at the resort style amenities. So if you have access to the pool all the time, you want to have your family and friends over, there may be some limitations with that. So that's something that I personally would strongly consider, because I love hosting. I love having people over, especially when you have access to pools and all the beautiful stuff like that. I know we've had pushing 100-degree weather lately. That is phenomenal to have access to something like that. Of course, you want to invite your friends and family over. So double check with the HOA of the specific community that you want to buy or move into. Okay, so I hope that helps you out. I know I don't have the specifics in front of me because there's just too much to remember all this, but we do have it. I do have it archived somewhere in our notes. So reach out to us down below if there's any way that we can help you out on that, or if you need a specific question answered, shoot us an email. I'll be happy to respond to it, get that information for you. So I hope you guys are enjoying this so far. Give it a thumbs up. Let me see. One thing I wanted to mention is that if you are considering new construction homes specifically, if you like the new home space, if you're thinking about moving into the area, doing your research, we did a live stream last week on new builds, if they are worth it. And I go through some of the positives and even some of the negatives when it comes to new construction homes in the area. We sell a lot of new construction homes in our area, in the Sacramento region, all over. So if there's so I have a little bit of knowledge, I should say, on that. But if it would help you out, watch that video. I think I linked it in the description down below already. But watch that video if you're considering new construction home. I hope it helps you out. Again, guys, thank you guys for watching this video. I do have to get to it, and this was just a quick one just to give you some brief overview of active adult communities here in the Sacramento region. If you found this video beneficial, please give it a thumbs up or consider subscribing to stay up to date on Sacramento's content. Also, if there's any way that we can help you buy or sell here in the Sacramento region, I'd love to be a real estate resource for you here in the area. You can always give us a call or text with our information down below in the description. But for now, my name is Sam with Golovey Real Estate. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next week.